Welcome back, everybody. Alright, so in this video we're going to quickly look at what does it mean when you've got something to the power of 0. Alright, so what it actually means is you've divided with the same thing. Alright, so what that means is what happens if I had x to the power of 5 divided by x to the power of 5. Now if you apply law number 2 states that if the bases are the same and I divide, I need to subtract the exponent. So we do that and we get x to the power of 5 minus 5. And 5 minus 5 is 0, so you end up with x to the power of 0. So technically what it means when you get x to the power of 0 is that you've divided with the same thing. And the same thing divided by the same thing equals 1. And that is what it means. So when we talk about exponents or 0 as a power, it's not an exponent law. Alright, we've got 3 exponent laws that we're going to look at. The first, when the bases are the same and we multiply, we add the exponents and we multiply the coefficients. Law number 1. Law number 2. When the bases are the same and I multiply, bases are the same and I divide, I subtract the exponents and I divide the coefficients. That's law number 2. Law number 3 is when a power is raised to another power, we multiply the coefficients with one another. Alright, so, not the coefficients, we multiply the exponents with one another. That was law number 3. Now the rest of them becomes deductions. Alright, so what's a deduction? A deduction is when we apply the first 3 laws, certain things, appeared. Like for instance, an x to the power of 0. And they were like, oh, what do we do when we get x to the power of 0? So these are little deductions to actually help you to see what happens when you come across certain things that when you apply the first 3 laws, or the 3 laws of exponents. So in this case, it's the first deduction is when you subtract the same thing by the same thing, you get an x to the power of 0. That means it's the same thing divided by the same thing, which means the answer is 1. So it doesn't make a difference to the question. So when x is to the power of 0, the answer is 1. When this is to the power of 0, the answer is 1. Now, in the third instance, the minus is not included in the to the power of 0. It's only the x. And therefore, this is minus 1. When we apply law number 3 in question number 4, we see that this is 2 to the power of 2. Remember, it's to the power of 1. X to the power of 0, because 0 times 2 is still 0. Y to the 6, because 3 times 2 is 6. Now, because it's to the power of 0, the x, it becomes a 1. And a 1 doesn't make a difference in a multiply sum. So we write this as 4y to the power of 6. So I hope this makes it a bit, it takes away the confusion between what is a law and what's a deduction. But this is my first deduction when an exponent is 0.